Hi, fourth grade families. In this video, I am going to show my screen and show you how to change a mixed number fraction into a decimal. So we have our place value chart again, and I have our whole number place values as well as the decimal and the tenths and hundredths. So a mixed number is when you have a whole number and a fraction, and this was on last week's packet. So an example would be 2 and 4/10. There's a whole number, which is our large number 2, and there's a fraction, which is 4/10. So remember, when we are working with decimals, we like to have a denominator of 10 or 100, or a fraction that we could change to create an equivalent fraction with 10 or 100, such as 1/5. We could do 5 times 2 is 10, and then change 1 times 2 is 2, so that would be an equivalent fraction. But back to our mixed number, we have the fraction 2 and 4/10. Now this will change where we put our numbers because now we have a whole number. So this 2 is worth 2 ones, right? 2 ones blocks. So 2 is our whole number and it's worth 2 ones. So 2 is going to go in this spot now, when before we'd have a 0 because a fraction by itself without the whole number is less than 1 whole. 2, and the decimal, when we're saying the decimal, we like to say it as and, which is why we say 2 and 4/10. We say 2 and 4/10. So 2.4, which we say as 2 and 4/10, is equivalent to our mixed number, 2 and 4/10. So if we want to try another one, let's say I have 5 and 1/10. My whole number is 5. It's going to be in the ones place. So 5 and 1/10. So 1 will go in the tenths place. 5.1, which we say as 5 and 1/10, is equivalent to 5 and 1/10. Now we could always have more than just a ones place value. We might have, let's say, 34 and 9/10. So now 34, we wouldn't put 34 in the ones. We have to separate them into different place values. So 4 is in our 1 spot, and 3 is in our 10 spot. So 34, just like if we put a whole number in our place value chart. 34 and, which is our decimal, 9/10. So 9 would go in the tenths. So this fraction is represented as this decimal, 34 and 9/10. Now we can also do this using the hundredths. Say we have 16 and 5/100ths. So we do have a whole number now because it's a mixed number. So 16, 1 is in the 10 spot, 6 is in the 1 spot. Our decimal represents the and, 5/100ths. So I'm going to skip past the tenths because it's 5/100ths, and we're adding that 0 to hold that place. So 16.05, which we'd say as 16 and 5/100ths, is equivalent to this fraction 16 and 5/100ths. If we wanted to change the top number to 28, then our decimal, we'd keep the whole number the same because we didn't change the whole number of our mixed number, but the decimal portion would be 28/100th because we like to end at the hundredths since hundredths is our denominator. So 16.28, 16 and 28/100ths is equivalent to our mixed number, 16 and 28/100ths. So that is how you change a mixed number into a decimal. It's very similar to changing just a fraction, except for now you're going to have numbers to the left of the decimal. So let's say we wanted to have a really large number, 3,855 and 1/100th. So now we have to input our whole number. So we have 5 in the 1 spot, 5 in the tens place, 8, and then 3 in the thousands. And then we'd have 1 in the hundredths. So 3,855 and 1/100ths. So that is how you change a mixed number into a decimal. And we can always try the opposite now. If you want to challenge yourself and give yourself a decimal and change that into a fraction instead. So let's say I have and my decimal is going to be this. So I would say this as 4,102 and 3/10. So my whole number is 4,102. Put the comma in there if you'd like. And then I have 3/10. So 3 is my numerator, and 10 would be my denominator. So that is how you would do it the other way around. So if you want to challenge yourself, you can always create a decimal and change it into a fraction. And that is how you create a decimal based on a mixed number.